If sun thou canst not be, then be the humble planet. If thou art debarred from flaming like the noonday sun upon the snow-capped mount of purity eternal, then choose, O neophyte, a humbler course. Point out the way, however dimly, and lost amongst the host, as does the evening star, to those who tread their path in darkness. Behold Mi'kmaq, as in his crimson veils his eye sweeps over slumbering earth. Behold the fiery aura of the land of Lakba, extended in protecting love over the head of his ascetics. Both are now servants to Nima, left in his absence, silent watchers in the night. Yet both in Kalpas past were bright near Mars, and may in future days again become two suns. Such are the falls and rises of the karmic law in nature. Be, O Lang, like them, give light and comfort to the toiling pilgrim, and seek out him who knows still less than thou, who in his wretched desolation sits starving for the bread of wisdom and the bread which feeds the shadow, without a teacher, hope or consolation. And let him hear the law. Tell him, O candidate, that he who makes of pride and self-regard bond maidens to devotion, that he who cleaving to existence still weighs his patience and submission to the law as a sweet flower at the feet of Shakya Thupapa becomes Rutapati in this birth. The siddhis of perfection may loom far, far away, but the first step is taken, the stream is entered, and he may gain the eyesight of the mountain eagle, the hearing of the timid doe. Tell him, O aspirant, that true devotion may bring him back the knowledge, that knowledge which was his in former births. The Deva sight and Deva hearing are not obtained in one short birth. Be humble if thou wouldest attain to wisdom. Be humbler still when wisdom thou hast mastered. Be like the ocean which receives all streams and rivers. The ocean's mighty calm remains unmoved. It feels them not. Restrained by thy divine, thy lower self, restrained by the eternal, the divine. Great is he who is the slayer of desire. Still greater he, in whom the self-divine has slain the very knowledge of desire. Guard thou the lowest, lest it soil the higher. The way to final freedom is within thyself. That way begins and ends outside of self. Unpraised by men and humble is the mother of all rivers in Tirthika's proud sight. Empty the human form, though filled with Amritas, sweet waters, in the sight of fools, withal the birthplace of the sacred rivers is the sacred land, and he who wisdom hath is honored by all men. Arhants and sages of the boundless vision are rare, as is the blossom of the Udumbara tree. Arhants are born at midnight, together with the sacred plant of 9 and 7 stalks, the holy flower that opens and blooms in darkness, out of the pure dew and on the frozen bed of snow-capped heights, heights that are trodden by no sinful foot. No Arhan Olanu becomes one in that birth, when for the first time the soul begins to long for final liberation. Yet O thou anxious one, no warrior volunteering fight in the fierce strife between the living and the dead. And not one recruit can ever be refused the right to enter on the path that leads towards the field of battle. For either he shall win or he shall fall. Yea, if he conquers, Nirvana shall be his. Before he casts his shadow of his mortal coil, that pregnant cause of anguish and illimitable pain, in him will men a great and holy Buddha honor. And if he falls, even then he does not fall in vain. The enemies he slew in the last battle will not return to life in the next birth that will be his. But if thou wouldest Nirvana reach, or cast the prize away, let not the fruit of action and inaction be thy motive, thou of dauntless heart. Know that the Bodhisattva, who liberation changes for renunciation to don the miseries of secret life, is called thrice honored, O thou candidate, for who throughout the cycles, the path is one, disciple, yet in the end twofold, marked are its stages by 4 and 7 portals. At one end, bliss immediate, and at the other, bliss deferred. Both are of merit, the reward. The choice is thine. The one becomes the two, the open and the secret. The first one leadeth to the goal, the second to self-immolation. When to the permanent is sacrificed immutable, the prize is thine. The drop returneth since it came. The open path leads to the changeless change, Nirvana, the glorious state of absoluteness. The bliss past human thought. Thus, the first path is liberation, but path the second is renunciation, and therefore called the path of woe. That secret path leads the Arhat to mental woe unspeakable, woe for the living dead, and helpless pity for the men of karmic sorrow. The fruit of karma sages dare not still, for it is written, teach to eschew all causes, the ripple of his fruit. As the great tidal wave, thou shalt let run its course. The open way, no sooner hast thou reached its goal, will lead thee to reject the bodhisattvic body and make thee enter the thrice glorious state of Dharmakaya, which is oblivion of the world and men forever. The secret way leads also to paranirvanic bliss, but at the close of kalpas, without number, Nirvana is gained and lost from boundless pity and compassion for the world of deluded mortals. But it is said, the last shall be the greatest. Samyak Sambuddha, the teacher of perfection, gave up himself for the salvation of the world by stopping at the threshold of Nirvana, the pure state. Thou hast the knowledge now concerning the two ways. Thy time will come for choice, O thou of eager soul, when thou hast reached the end and passed the 7 portals. Thy mind is clear. No more art thou entangled in delusive thoughts, for thou hast learned all. Unveiled stands truth, and looks thee sternly in the face. She says, sweet are the fruits of rest and liberation for the sake of self, but sweeter still the fruits of long and bitter duty. Renunciation for the sake of others, of suffering fellow men. He who becomes Pratyeka Buddha makes his obeisance but to himself.